Hey everybody, welcome back to another Counter-Strike Siege devlog. If you haven't watched the previous devlog, go watch it. Now.
What you say, what you say? What you say, what you say? What you say, what you say?
This episode I'm going to be talking more about how I made the mechanics rather than what I'm going to make. I'll be talking about the buy menu, the round system, and some of the abilities that I made. Let's start with the buy menu. Now in order to make the buy menu, I had to have a layout in mind, so I was kind of torn between two options. One of which is the new Apex Arena mode, its buy menu, and the CSGO buy menu. Each of these layouts have their pros and cons to them. One thing that's good about Apex's layout is that it's really easily implementable, and I can display a lot of items for it. But I also played like 5 games of Apex and I didn't even know I could buy a sniper rifle. But that can just be easily remedied by making text bigger. But the CSGO layout is very streamlined and easy to develop muscle memory for, since your arms are very used to circular motion, which is why I accidentally buy AK armor and utility on rounds that I should save on. Now, accidental purchases are not great while in the middle of a game, but this muscle memory I have means that it is very easy to navigate the CSGO menu. But I'm going with the Apex layout because I have to display a lot of items to the player very easily and very efficiently, and the CSGO layout is not the best at doing that. Also, by making 2 tab windows, I'm able to separate the weapons from the abilities to give the players easier navigation of the buy menu. Another reason for why I'm using the Apex layout is because it is way easier to implement than the CSGO layout. I tried making the CSGO layout for like 3 weeks and got nowhere. All I needed to do for making the Apex layout is that I have to have a widget switcher that'll switch between a bunch of grid items, each with their corresponding category, and then just use the buttons to tell the widget switcher which widget to show. On to the round system. I needed a dynamic system for defining winning parameters because I'm going to have multiple game modes, and with each of these game modes they have to account for, let's say, if the attackers bring all the documents to the exit in the docs game mode, or if the attackers plant the diffuser and successfully defuse the bomb, or if everybody on the opposing team dies and the other team wins, etc. There's a lot of winning parameters that go into each game mode, and I have to have an easy way to change those parameters. So the way that I plan to implement this is that I'll have an event that is ran every time the winning needs to be calculated. So every time somebody dies, it'll check if an entire team is dead, then award the opposing team, or if the diffuser is disabled by the defenders, and then it'll give them the win, etc. And in each one of these game modes, I can just override the event to do some extra checks for like if the diffuser is disabled, or the docs case are returned to the exit, etc.
Polymorphism.
Now, how each individual round works is that there's 3 possible states that the round can be in: the buy menu, the play mode, and the idle mode, which is used to give players time to process what just happened. Each of these modes have an associated time that it is active for, so when the timer runs out, it'll switch to the next state. So for example, when the buy menu phase runs out, it'll move to the play phase, and then when a winner is declared, it'll move to idle phase, and then it'll move back to the buy phase after the idle phase. I also worked on some abilities, of which I added a flashbang and a banana peel. I also proved myself to be better than Ubisoft at making flashbangs because good God! By just checking if the player is not behind a wall by shooting a line towards it and seeing whatever it hits, and also by checking where the player is looking at and comparing that to where it should be looking at in order to look at the flashbang, I am easily able to blind anybody. Now onto the banana peel. I got this idea from the game Intruder, which is a hilarious game, and I don't want this game to take itself too seriously, so I decided to add a banana. In order to make the banana, I just made it so when you left click on the ground, it'll place the banana, and then whoever slips on it will have their movement speed set to 0, and then they will be forced to look upwards in order to mimic the feeling of slipping on a banana. In order to make the equipment system, I did a similar thing to the traditional UE4 item systems, where I would have a structure that contains the name of the equipment piece, the stats that it'll modify, bullet resistance type, and the cost to purchase it. When it is bought in the buy menu, the data of the equipment piece is then transferred onto the player character when it is spawned in. Also, surprise announcement, I'm working on a cool map for this game. But I'm going to be talking about the map in the next devlog. So, I'll see you next time, and thank you for watching.